talk about giving in a church. As the leader of a ministry, one of the questions often is how to increase giving, because without adequate financial support from the members of a congregation, it becomes very difficult to nearly impossible to cover things like building utilities, payroll, continue outreach efforts, maintain social distancing protocols today. Givers don't tend to like to give towards overhead expenses. Okay? So it's been a while, and we've started to do reopenings and might be facing closures again, but your doors had been closed, and that means that giving habits of your congregants might have changed. Some, because of stimulus money, may have given more and others less, and you simply don't know what giving habits will be in the next several months. Who does know? But even before the COVID-19 pandemic hit, as many as 7,000 churches closed annually. And in part, this is because church leaders have been struggling with growing and keeping a sufficient donation base. Now, I want to add a little something here. There's a church marketing group I belong to that has tens of thousands of church marketing members in it, and 80% of them said they were down in every aspect. Online, offline, streaming, in-house, donations, attendance, engagement in activities, all of it. And why? Be honest with you, our clients that are churches through Vital Solutions are not down. But giving habits have changed over the last couple of years, not just because of COVID. And they may change again due to the times, because the reality is that passing around a collection plate or asking for tithes and offerings only when the church is in financial trouble, and assuming members understand how funds are used and so on and so forth nowadays, it doesn't work very well. If this season has proven anything, it's a need for a really solid online presence, and that's paramount. And it's just as important, if not more important, than any building or land the church and ministry may own. Some must-haves for the times we're in are, well, I think everybody pretty much has a website. But how strong that website is, how vibrant it is, how easy it is to navigate, but more importantly, how loaded it is full of educational content, videos, blogs. I mean, we're talking 1,000 of them. This is what it takes. You've got to be the resource center for that person in need. So here's some facts to help you with all of this. On average, recurring givers contribute 42% more than one-time givers. All right? Those who, some of the churches we work with online, they have monthly automated donations. And this is very true statistic. That was pulled from PushPay, which is a big processor of church giving online. And if somebody gives every month, even a minimal amount, even $30, $1 a day, they will end up being 42% more engaged over the long haul. %25% make their donations on mobile devices. Now, that's low compared to other industries. But what you need to understand about a mobile giver is they tend to read content, watch videos on their mobile, but they make the donation decision on their tablet, laptop, or desktop unit. And that's important for the marketers of churches to know. 49% of all church giving is now on credit card. A lot of people are playing the points game of the card. America has learned to use a credit card for ease of purchasing rather than a debt instrument, and being more responsible. Only about 5% of churchgoers tithe. That's from cdfcapital.org. 67% of giving happens on days other than a Sunday. And that's from get.tithely. And I'd say these statistics are fairly true amongst our clients. So as you hear this and maybe researching some of this, this pandemic is having an impact on church giving, but mostly because the attendee, the giver, the worshiper, is worshiping on their schedule, their time, their means, their way, and they need to feel moved. Okay? I mean, we don't have all the results in yet because we're still in the middle of this thing, but there's no doubt that giving habits are going to change. And great churches move with the habits of their donor. So what does this all mean for church leaders? Well, it means that you have to adapt to the wants and needs of modern churchgoers. And by quote-unquote modern churchgoer, I mean people who have moved to watching a sermon from their living room rather than sitting in the pew. So here's some tips to increase church giving and making it easier and more effective. We've got 7 of them. So if you want to increase church giving, you need to make it easy for people to contribute, and you have to move them spiritually, emotionally, to want to give and to feel like they're the hero, you're the guide. This is what the Viral Solutions team calls a lower barrier to entry. Okay? Make it simple, make it easy, make it en masse. Because giving as easy and convenient as possible does increase the likelihood of people actually doing it. Moreover, you also need to focus on the why, as this has a huge impact on whether members choose to give or how much they give. So tip 1. Make sure somebody can easily give on your website or a mobile device. So in the stats we talked about, a pretty large percentage of people making church giving transactions via credit card. And it makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, this is a modern age of technology. People grown used to paying for the things they want electronically. Therefore, meet your church members and goers where they are, online. Provide your members with other options besides just putting money in a collection plate. I mean, you pretty easily on a website make it to where You can pay with a e-check or a credit card or a debit card, and you can keep somebody's receipts and donation history all in an account-based system. An online giving form on the website, a mobile app for your church, and a text-to-tithe tool are not that difficult to create anymore. It makes it easier for your members to give. It allows for greater flexibility. So think about this. People have been watching church services live stream for weeks, and many will continue for some time. Therefore, an online giving tool allows them to give anytime, not just on a Sunday morning. Number 2, make sure you have an option for recurring automated billing for donations. It's the biggest way to balance out your monthly giving, and it's proven that the people that sign up for this, that's not just all they do. They give above and beyond that for special causes also. So many people appreciate it when they're given an auto pay option. It's more convenient than having to remember to give. Additionally, those who contribute on a regular basis give more than those who make one-time donations here and there. And as you implement electronic pay options for members, make sure you give them a choice to make recurring donations, because recurring donations also help you with budgeting. Most of our church clients, a good quarter to 40% of their giving comes through on automated monthly billing. And that's really nice knowing you've got that coming in. You don't have to worry about the next weekend or Sunday or whatever. Number 3, be transparent about how donation funds are used. This is something we've discussed before, and it bears repeating. You have to be transparent about how you're using funds. Now, why? Well, I know there's a reporting requirement out there governmentally for being a nonprofit. What is it? Form 940, 41, something like that. Anyway, whatever it is, we're talking above and beyond that. It helps build trust between you and the members of your church. When they know where their offerings are going, they feel more comfortable giving. Showing people that their donations are truly making a difference, that the donor is the hero, can increase church giving, and they'll be encouraged and inspired to give more. You can be transparent about how funds are used by an annual report, or every time a goal is hit or missed for a certain project, you give updates either before or during service. Monthly, quarterly, say email, newsletters. You discuss funding allocation, maybe a report from your treasurer. You let people know, say on social media, about building improvements or other outreach efforts that are ongoing, and you give updates. You don't wait for the funding to end or be all there or end the project. Keep communicating. And right now, churches, a lot of them are banding together to give funds to help essential workers. I mean, who isn't inspired to hear stories of believers coming together to make such a powerful impact during this time, right? And every time a report is mentioned about that impact, giving has increased. So make sure you're a part of that. Number 4, always be speaking on church giving throughout the year. Now, I'm not talking about standing at the pulpit and always giving an ask. I'm talking about being transparent about financial issues. I'm not talking about leaders that ask for a tithe and offering all the time. We're talking about increasing church giving by being consistent and not just there at a panic. And that means not only asking for offerings on a regular basis, but speaking and educating and nurturing the mind of the person in the pew on overall church giving all throughout the year. And the best way to do this is to educate your congregation about biblical giving. What does the Scripture say? Teach them about how the Creator Himself is generous. And His design is for us to be the same way. Don't be afraid to address the subject throughout the year, all the time. There's people out there looking for a biblical approach to finances, and they're not sure how to get started. If talking about it from the pulpit isn't your thing, that's okay. Then consider doing a biblical study on finances and giving. You can set up a video series on your website that people can watch at home. You can start a private Facebook group for those who are interested and upload teaching videos there. Viral Solutions has helped a number of churches do all of these things, and with a lot of great success. And we'd be happy to answer any questions you have about this approach, because we know the subtleties behind some of this is quite different. But this is where the benefit of the online supports the in-house offline part of a church. And that's through constant education for the person who's looking for it, rather than giving the education when you have time in your sermon. Subtle difference, but it really helps, because you've got this donor out there who isn't feeling trapped into, I have to be at church during this hour on a Sunday. Okay? So therefore, their whole giving life and perspective expands out during the week when they have time also. Number 5, practice what you preach. So as a church leader, you got to lead by example. If you want to increase church giving, then you need to be giving on increasing steps yourself. And your board does also. You should be honest and transparent with your flock on how you're contributing to the financial well-being of the church. I mean, obviously this isn't something you share from a place of pride or manipulation or get down to the actual dollar, but you do approach the subject with a heart of transparency. Let them know you believe in the biblical principle of giving because you've seen it work. Even in your own life, you've proven that God is faithful to His word, and you reap what you sow. When members hear how their leaders live out their faith, they do the same. Number 6, share stories of how church giving has helped others. So storytelling is a very powerful tool. It gives potential givers in your church a point of focus. It shows how their contributions are improving the lives of others. And if you're not doing this, then start sharing stories of how giving in your church has helped individuals, groups, or the greater community as a whole. Allowing members who have benefited from donations to speak. Adding video testimonials is another great way to help out. Video is really key when it comes to reaching the hearts of your congregation. Uploading videos of volunteers in reaction to something they read on your website. Sharing all these stories not only helps increase church giving, but also strengthens the bond between members of your family church. Number 7, don't forget to thank people. It's shocking the number of nonprofits who are a little weak on the gratitude side. But when you're setting expectations for giving, you should also set expectations to thank people for choosing to do so. It demonstrates your gratitude. It makes them feel valued. You've got to make your donor the hero. It means positive reinforcement. When you thank members for their contribution each time they give, they're more likely to give again. If you want to increase church giving, be sure to direct people to a thank you page on your website or send them handwritten cards and letters. After they donate on your website or mobile device, you can do either of those. Consider thanking givers in your church publicly during an online service or to your members in the pew. Handshakes when they leave the door. Those are really good. So here's the takeaway. Adequate financial support for a church isn't just necessary, but it's what keeps the doors open, the roof from leaking, and the church is enabled to support those in greater need and live out its mission. It's a major part of ensuring that you're able to fulfill that mission, that you're encouraging members to also grow spiritually, of which giving is part of that. And you're helping the greater community in which your local church resides. So if you want to increase church giving, you have to make it easy, convenient, worthwhile for members to contribute. You must understand how and why people give so you can adopt a more effective approach. Now, if you'd like to discuss this, you can reach us at viralsolutions.net, and we've got a really awesome web chat on there. We're on social media. Or you can call us at 888-816-1222. Make it a great day.